Okay, I think I am live. Yes, I am live on both Facebook and YouTube to just do a quick recap from today. I'm hoping y'all can pop on if you have any questions, or maybe you saw the live stream. Just to introduce myself. Hey, y'all, I'm Aviva, if you don't know who I am. And I care very much about cannabis, and I am willing to pay $15 and go down and spend a day at the Capitol if I think it can make a difference in helping humanity free this plant. I think it's really important that cannabis is just free, that we have a right to grow our own, etc., etc. And so we're doing my best to develop who I have found are very much either totally cool with cannabis or very resistant to it, or just not willing to put their neck out on the line to do what needs to be done to free the plant and to make it an issue. It's just not their priority. For me, it is my priority. I feel like cannabis is amazing, and I think there's been way too much pain in this world from the prohibition. And if you've watched my movie Hempdemic, then you will know why that is. So I am going to start by sharing just some beautiful spiritual synchronicities about today before I get into the more details of the situation of the hearing and stuff that other people might be interested in, since not too many people are live with us. So that'll give them a chance to jump on here while I share the magic happened going into this testifying. Thanks for the thumbs up already on YouTube. I appreciate that. So I know some of you are at home thinking, why should I come testify? Do it if it feels right. I don't think you should do it just because I'm telling you to do it. I'm not telling you to do it. I think that for me, it's my spiritual path. And whenever I do it, I get these little signs that I'm supposed to do it. And I listen and I pay attention to the universe. Like, okay, you would be useful here, or you wouldn't be useful here. And the way you can kind of feel that is really by being in touch with your heart and asking God, praying to God, being like, is this what is a good use of my time today? And will it matter? Will it make a difference? And the thing is sometimes when you follow this path, it's not only that it makes a difference possibly for the people that you're speaking with and opening their minds, but very often it makes a difference for you. Because I believe the universe is out to love you. God loves you. And if you walk the path that is for your highest good, you're going to meet people that day. You're going to be in a certain area where you can just receive more love for your life. You will be rewarded in some way. You will be gifted in some way. So I was gifted with, I feel like it was like a prophetic dream last night that I had, and it just made me feel like I was definitely doing the right thing by going to legislation. It was such a powerful dream, and I'm so excited to share it with you all. Because it was so magical. So last night, I was feeling antsy about coming to the Capitol today and testifying. The thoughts that always come into my head is, oh, they're going to laugh at me. They're going to think I'm silly. They're going to think I don't make sense. I mean, that's normal anxiety that we get, like stage fright, right? I brought way more water. I brought 2 whole bottles of water and another huge one, because the thing I noticed last time is I got really dehydrated. Okay, so my dream was, hold on one second. All right. Hold on one second. I'm getting a message on the Facebook. On the Facebook. Hold on. Someone wants me to tag them so that they can see this link. Oh. Okay then. And by the way, I know Peachtree Normal is having a Zoom meeting right now, and I hope that is going very well. All right, I'm just gonna tag a few folks. All right, we are tagged. Thank you for your patience, y'all. So, my dream. And I think dreams are a great way to communicate with spirit about what your role is in whatever you're doing. I had a dream that I was on my way to legislation and a huge crow came down and gave me a ride there. How magical is that? So I not only rode on the back of a crow and I was like hugging this huge crow. Obviously, it was bigger than me. Like there was a crow in my dream that was like as big as, I don't know, a huge dog or something. And while it was taking me to the Capitol, these two women were there with me. Oh, that's why everyone was wearing Mardi Gras beads, Willow, today. It's Fat Tuesday. Okay, that makes sense. I did not realize that. So I'm riding this huge crow in my dream to the Capitol, and there were two women with brown curly hair who said they were going to sing the song with me. So that has some kind of meaning. But the fact that I rode the crow, like I was so extra nervous about going today, but I just knew that there were wings that were going to be carrying us and this cannabis mission today. Already there was so much support for HB 1400. I know it's not saying that we have the right to grow our own or completely legalizing cannabis for everyone and anyone, but I do think that that crow symbolized something good happening, some kind of awakening with the Georgia cannabis consciousness. Um, and we are being carried on the, like today is just the crow to me symbolizes caw caw, like using your voice and getting the words out there and it being heard. You can't not hear a crow. You might not feel heard yourself, but the crow, if the crow is helping us be heard, I think that's a really good sign. Another good sign for today, as people keep popping on before I go into the details of the hearing, um, is that it's the 22nd day of the legislature and it's 2022. And what this bill was allowing for, instead of the 6 medical cannabis licenses that they were going to grant to people, and they did grant to people, instead of 6, it's now going to be 22 with this law. So that's 222222. Something magical about that. And then I just put the connection together also on Joshua Luttrell's Twitter feed, Veterans for Cannabis. He was there testifying today. And the testimony was at 1400 military time because it was 2 p.m. and the bill is HB 1400. And so I just feel like when there's those parallels, it's like a mirror. It's like mirroring itself. It's just magnifying some kind of something. It's like making it stronger than it is. It's like making it even more powerful than it is. It's like the universe is repeating it. So those were my 3 signs that today would be a really good day at the Capitol. 22, 22, 22, 1400, 1400, and the giant crow who took me there in my dreams that I got to hug and feel so much love from. So when I go down to the Capitol, I try to kind of like talk to whoever I can and make a list of people and their room numbers and maybe their phone numbers. And just in my mind, rationalize why I have a right to talk to these people. Like why they're just like, who are you? And what do you want from me? And I feel like my main goal is to talk to anyone and everyone about cannabis and how the prohibition was wrong and how the prohibition needs to end ASAP. And also to just listen to them and find out what they like or don't like about it. And also to basically find out like what other legislation they're into. And so I try to like research them. I was up till 2 in the morning researching a lot of legislators, seeing what bills they're for, what bills they're against, and what they might be for that I'm also for. So we can find that similarity. And I could be like, I really appreciate this bill that you are sponsoring or co-sponsoring or voted yes on. Thank you. I see you, I hear you. And I feel like that opens up the door to them, maybe listening to more of what I have to say because I respect them. I mean, I would not want their jobs. I would not want to be in a building all day, sometimes like the longest hours, dealing with all this legislation. And then you get confused in your head, you get hot and you get hungry. You get uncomfortable with bathroom situations, possibly. All right. So the first thing that obviously happened was the hearing and the HB. Oh, wow. Thanks for the likes. I have way more likes than it says people viewing. I don't think it shows me all the people viewing. Okay. So first of all, the hearing, which I don't know if it's live now. I haven't checked since I've been home. I just like stuffed my face with food and jumped on here to talk to you all. Okay, so what was I just saying? Help me out here. Oh yeah, I don't know if it's online yet. I'll find that link and put it in the description if it is. If not, it'll be up tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll extract it and share it. I basically prepared a song for today that I think Mr. James Meisner, you would really appreciate if you're watching right now, because it was about talking about the one plant, how separating cannabis into hemp and everything else has been detrimental to all of us. That's my point of view. I know that's not the opinion of everyone out there. And so when I talk to legislators, which I just kind of crossed over and I made an announcement about it, where I'm going to talk and testify for as much medical cannabis as hemp, because I do feel like it's the same plant. And I kind of crossed over when I did Hempdemic. And then, so now when I talk to people and they talk about being against cannabis, I talk their ear off about hemp. They don't even know about hemp. They just know that they don't support medical cannabis because they say that is the way to recreational and they don't support recreational and blah, 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 blah. And so I focus on teaching them about hemp, and I tell them, look, it's the same thing. If you're against medical cannabis right now, then you're also against hemp, because the hemp plant is being murdered through the prohibition and through the tight regulations that it has on it. And we know that they're working on changing that, but it's not fast enough. So that's what my main testimony was about. I felt like, well, this is the Medical Cannabis Commission program. It's 1 to 5% THC. I feel like our hemp farmers should also be able to be growing medical cannabis, because if their hemp grows hot, they should have a market for it. And so that's what my testimony was about. And I'll put it up there tomorrow so you can like see how I said it. And then I sang a song about that. I was a little disappointed that Chairman Cooper was not at the meeting. I was really looking forward to seeing her because she was someone who I spoke with. I just dropped in on her office last week, and because she's chairman of the Health and Human Something Committee. Oh, okay. Yeah, do that. And she was so against cannabis. She was even against trying hemp seeds. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this publicly, not that she's going to see this. I just begged her to watch Hempdemic. And so I was really disappointed that she wasn't at the meeting. When I was practicing, I was like visualizing singing her the song, because it was something I spoke about in her office, how I really feel like the cannabis being separated into hemp and everything else is similar to that biblical story about King Solomon, who was the judge when 2 women claimed that the baby was both theirs. And so what he did, threatening to cut the baby in half, and then the real mother said, no, just let her have it because she didn't want her baby to die, then King Solomon knew, okay, this is the real mother. And I feel like metaphorically, that is what's going on with our cannabis plant. Some of us let the cannabis be separated, and I just don't think God would be happy with that. Oh, that's right. You're an hour earlier in Tennessee, Willow. I was not planning on singing, but again, I took another universal sign. On Sunday, I was at Golden Drops Cafe where I sing every Saturday because they were having a special event for Independence Day in the Dominican Republic. It's their 178th celebration. And Representative Mitchell was there. So I was like, oh, I'll see you down maybe at the Capitol on Tuesday. And he was like, well, what are you going to be there for? And I told him HB1400. He said he was a co-sponsor. And he said, well, bring your ukulele. And I didn't even think about it doing that. And I was like, okay, I guess I need to do that. So that Sunday I wrote the song and then I brought it in there today. And it just felt like the right thing to do. I wasn't sure if they were going to let me sing, but they did. And just stay tuned to the end of this recap because you're not going to believe what happened at the end of my day with my ukulele. So I went up to Chairman Powell's office to sign up for their email list because I didn't get any answers in the emails to sign up. You got to email jan.brown. I think that's how you spell the name, just like Brown. You can find it on Chairman Powell's link on the georgia.legis.gov. I think it is. No, legis.georgia.gov. And she was awesome. She got me on the list and she helped me sign up for the meeting. And so I got there and there was so much good energy in the room. There was probably like at least 30 people just there to support HB1400, not even speakers. I think there were maybe 7 people who signed up to speak, maybe even less, which was the combined Zoom. They allowed people to testify over Zoom as well as in the room. So I spoke and Joshua Luttrell spoke, and there were a couple of lawyers who spoke because what is going on is that there is litigation. There are 16 out of the 69 people who applied, or companies, to be the medical cannabis, to get the medical cannabis license in Georgia. 6 people were chosen, but they weren't like, they didn't go through with like, okay, these are the finals. These are the potentials, they were basically saying. So it's like, I guess they're still reviewing their applications. I'm not sure what's going on there. So 16 of the people who got denied started litigation against the state because they felt it wasn't fair. There was no guidelines, or they weren't told why they were rejected. And they also felt like it was unfair because a lot of the 6 people who were chosen were not Georgia-based companies, and they felt that that was unfair. So the litigation has begun. And so Chairman Powell went ahead and created this legislation saying, hey, if we just let these 16 folks who started litigation just have a medical cannabis license as well, then we can avoid all of this litigation and we can save Georgia taxpayers a lot of money. How about we spend that money somewhere else? I'm sure we can build gardens and help homeless people. We don't have to be holding so tight to these medical cannabis, licenses just not being granted. Okay. And then in the testimony, there were a lot of good points made about why just 6. And I said, there's going to be such a demand of medicine once the market opens up. I don't know if I said it clearly because I was so nervous. I said, we're going to need as many medical cannabis growers as possible. And that was just another reason to allow the hemp to be medical cannabis. I mean, if it's, almost 1% THC, then let it be medicine. Don't destroy it. Come on. That just doesn't make any sense. So, hey, Jabri, I'm so glad you're here with us. So, what was I saying? So there were a lot of good points, and someone made a really good point about, well, if you just have 6 medical license for cannabis, then they're kind of cornering the market. It's almost like a monopoly, and the prices might be really high, and it might not be something that everyone can afford. So if you have more people making the medicine, then the prices will be lower, we hope, because insurance doesn't cover it, is the point that they were making as well. So in order to keep the prices low, you're going to need more people in the market with their stuff, so it's competitive. And one of the members said that he really did appreciate that point, that it was an excellent point, and he wants to make sure that everyone has access. So, Minister Gregory was there as well, and he made some really good points about how religious cannabis is exempt from the DEA and they are allowed to grow. He mentioned one place that is growing now in Georgia. And Joshua Luttrell also brought in all the medicine that veterans are taking, all the prescription drugs that he feels can be harmful to them. And he showed the gummies and said, nobody's died from this, but the other ones, people have overdosed, and it's just not for everyone. And they were really very honoring to veterans. There was another bill that they were talking about for veterans. There were quite a few veterans present, and they just kept saying, veterans deserve more, and I agree. So that was pretty much the crux of the meeting. Another person popped on Zoom. I forget his name, that got denied as well. He said that when he asked about his application, they said, oh, well, your application had too many spelling errors. And that's an interesting thing because of something that came up later in the day, which I want to tell you. They really are nitpicky about the official business. It's not just about the content of the law. It's about doing things in this official, prepared way. They're very judgmental about that. And so he was like, I have $2 million in the bank. So a spelling error is nixing me from having a medical cannabis license? That doesn't make any sense. And he did not file litigation. He wasn't one of the 16. And so he felt like it was, why limit it to just the 16? Why not allow all 69 to have these licenses? So anyway, fast forward, the bill did unanimously pass today, the House, HB 1400. And so it's on to its next step. It's on to its next transformation into bills. And so I think it has to pass the floor before it goes to the Senate. I still get confused on how bills are made, but anyway, there is an official process, but part of it is like they're making up the rules as they go along. We all know that, when you get involved, it's like, who's scratching who's back? I don't understand what's going on here. By the way, Facebook folks, I am going to remove this Facebook Live video after I'm done with this, but you can still go on YouTube and check it out again. All right, so meeting ends. I tried to kind of hang out and talk to the legislators after the meeting as well, but they were rushing off to do other things. They've got so many things that they do. One of the members was sweet. He asked if I had a record. He enjoyed my singing. And Chairman Powell said that was the first time he ever got sung to in a committee. So I hope it's memorable. I encourage you to do memorable things because it could make a difference. It could make an impact. That's okay. I didn't know I was coming on live tonight either, Jabri. I just wanted to give a recap because a lot of people, including myself, are very confused about all the cannabis stuff that's going on in Georgia. So I wanted to be able to field some questions if I was able to and give an update that's kind of fun because it's kind of like you had to be there, right? And people work during the day and I was able to go. And so that's really cool. All right. right. So I was walking up and down the halls trying to find people to talk to. I wanted to drop in on Senator Rahman again, but I didn't get to. I don't know if you've seen part one. I released a video of his bills and the hearing. So I was really eager to try to talk to Randy Robertson and Chairman Calcert because they were in the committee where Senator Rahman's bills were read. And nobody was there at those meetings to testify for cannabis. So I was like, am I going to run into these people? So when I was on the third floor making my rounds, I had a list of someone on the third floor I wanted to talk about talk to at club. I saw that there, and actually Senator Robertson is on the third floor. He was one of them. So I just walked past the hallway and there he was standing there ready to go to a rules committee hearing meeting. And so I look in and yep, there was Senator Calzert. So I was like, okay, after the meeting's over, hopefully I can catch them, bend their ear a little bit and just connect. So that was going on for a while. So I took a break from there and I took the elevator from the fifth floor was where the other meeting is. I went to the sixth to talk to someone. Who was it? I don't remember right now. And then I was coming down from the sixth, and who was in the elevator? Representative Cooper. So I was in the elevator with her. I didn't think I was going to bump into her because she wasn't at the meeting. And she actually is at the Capitol. And so I had my ukulele with me and I didn't want to go to the Capitol unless I went to my car first, but I didn't want to spend that time because they don't allow ukuleles in the Capitol. I've gotten it, confiscated or just told I couldn't come in with it several times now. So I ran into her in the elevator and I don't think she remembered who I was, but she was like, are you going to this floor too? And I'm like, well, I am now because you are, and I want to talk to you and walk with you wherever you're going so that we can just have another short conversation. I said, we missed you in the hearing today. And she said, well, the health committee that she's a chairman for was super busy today. Their meeting went very, very long. She's like, I haven't even had time to pee or go to the bathroom, whatever she said. When I said, well, have you had time to watch Hempdemic? And she said that. And I was like, okay, well, let me know if you have any questions. But I just thought it was another sign of God that I just ran into this woman. So it's like you put the intention out there when you want to connect with people and make some kind of an impact, and it seems to come back to you, right? All right, so I'm going to keep this short. I have some other things to do, and it's already been like a half an hour. But do let me know if you have any questions, and you can put them in the comments below as well. I guess the last thing I will recap on, or I have two more things that are interesting that happened. I just walked into, when I saw that the meeting was over for the rules committee, I just walked in and I just kind of like hung out next to the table, and Senator Calzert, Chairman Calzert was there. And he was like, are you waiting to talk to me? And I said, if I can have 5 minutes of your time, that would be amazing. And he said, well, we can schedule another day. I need to go somewhere. I go, well, I'll walk with you to that somewhere and we can just talk for 5 minutes. And he was like, okay, let's go. So it was either him or Senator Robertson. So I just hung out with Calcert. I was thinking I would come back in, and then something crazy happened. I was thinking I would have another chance to talk to the other guys that I wanted to talk to. So we're walking and he's like, what do you want to talk to me about? And I said, well, I want to talk to you about the hearing on February 3rd. I'm really sorry I didn't make it, but I really do appreciate. He's like, wait, what happened February 3rd? I don't know what happened February 3rd. I go, I appreciate you reading Senator Rahman's bills about, cannabis. And he's like, oh, yeah. I go, I think that you did a really good job, hearing them, and it was a really good meeting, and that meant a lot to me. And I'm sorry I didn't make it. And he said, yeah, I don't know, someone else I think interrupted, like everyone wanted to talk to him. So we're walking and like we get in the elevator and like someone in the elevator wanted to talk to me. He's like, anyway, I was just following him all around, like went out the exit with him. And he thought that I was parked in the same place, but I obviously wasn't. But anyway, I'm just following him. And I just asked him, I said, are we going to get a vote on these bills? Is that going to happen? You know, because everyone's like, oh, he's never going to allow a vote. And you saw on 11 Alive, they're like, he's not going to allow a vote. But in my interpretation of it, and I'm working on part two, I'm probably going to release it tonight, I hope, because especially after the conversation that I had with him, and I have more of a perspective. But um, basically, he was like, not this year. We're not going to vote on it this year. And I was like, why? You know, he goes, well, Senator Rahman wasn't prepared. You know, he didn't bring anyone to testify on his behalf. I said, well, when I spoke to him, he said he only had a day and a half. He said that, you know, when you guys notified him a few days ago, he really didn't believe it. And actually, I think he was very prepared. And I said, I told him, honestly, I think there was a language barrier as well. And he said, yeah, you're right. I said, I don't think it was a preparing thing as much as, you know, I go, look, I made these videos with subtitles. And he's like, oh, you did? So I go, yeah, because I had a hard time doing the subtitles because I didn't understand everything that he said. So I asked Senator Rahman, I asked him to tell me what he said. And then I put it in the subtitles. And so also I told Chairman Cowser, I said, you know, I listened to your questions and I said they were excellent questions. And you asked him to send you the studies, and I don't know if he did. I said, but I have them all cited in this video. I said, so you guys can look it over, you can read it over. I go, how much more prepared do you want to be? And so we get towards the parking lot. He's like, okay, that's your exit. That's where the outside is. Because he's like, where are you going? And I go, as long as you get me outside, I can find my way where I am. And I was like, no, I'm going to walk with you. He's like, I'm not giving you a ride. I'm like, I don't need a ride. I'm just going to walk you all the way to your car and we'll just keep talking about this. And I said, you know, he said, uh, I'm just not comfortable with the medical cannabis stuff because I really feel like they are just trying to do recreational. And if they want recreational, just let them do recreational. And I said, yeah. Or just have them say it's for recreational. I said, well, let them do that. I'm like, I think that's a great idea. Like, just let it all be legal. So I think that, I don't know. I think people have grudges and like I said, they like doing things the right way, like in order. And I think maybe there is some wiggle room to negotiate here. Like he just might think literally that he doesn't want people to sneak around. Like he wants them to just be honest about what they want. Now, I I don't think he's correct. But I think he's entitled and his emotions are valid because that's what he's feeling. You know, I don't think he's lying about. Oh, Wrinkle says hi, by the way. She was at the Capitol with me today. So anyway, I said, well, can we do that? Because one of the questions he's had to Senator Rahman, like, why do you need to put it on a ballot? Can't we just change the law? And I asked Chairman Powell also, by the way, I was like, hey, do you know about Senator Rahman's bills and do you support them? He didn't know about it. And he really needs to know about especially 264 because that changes the medical cannabis program to allow for edibles, which only it's oils now in Georgia. So anyway, I was like, as we were leaving trial, I was like, let's do it. Let's not worry about putting it up for a public vote. Let's just change it and legalize it for everyone. I was like, I hope I get another 5 minutes of your time. And he was like, okay. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll have another conversation with him. So that's about it. But then the craziest things happened. The craziest thing happened. And that's what makes today like totally iconic. Okay. I am sad to say, Wrinkle, that was your last time going down there because what happened is I ran back to CLOB, the Coverdell Legislative Office building, where my ukuleles have always been welcome. And the security guard said, no instruments, young lady. I was like, What? I always bring the ukulele here. He goes, let me check with my superior. And his superior was like, no. So suddenly, between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, ukuleles are no longer allowed in club. How epic is that? So I was talking to a friend earlier and she was like, why? What is the policy number? When did it get instated? Like, ask all those questions. So iconic. This might be the very, very last singing testimony in Georgia, unless we can have special permission for instruments to come in. So, who do we talk to about that? Why did that happen? I know I had that trouble on the PSC, and I guess no more instruments in the Capitol unless we sneak them in. So, today was our last hurrah. Hey, James. Did you just pop on here or did you hear everything that I said? Thanks for adding green, all the different colors here. I'm gonna take a water break so you guys can see if you have any questions. I'll stay on here till all the questions are answered. But that's my recap. I'm done with my recap, but I can repeat myself if anyone wasn't on here in the beginning or they want me to reiterate something. Oh, totally I can do a cappella. Plus I can like bring like castanets or something and do a rap or bring a vocalist with me or yeah, I ran into some guys in the parking lot on the way and I was like, you want to sing backup for me? And I totally fantasized about, just getting a whole bunch of people to just suddenly stand up and sing, but I think that would freak them out. You too, Jeffrey. So yeah, James, I was just saying earlier how my testimony was mainly about defending the one plant, how it's one plant, how separating it into hemp and everything else has been detrimental to not only the plant, but also the farmers and the processors and everyone involved. And I wrote a song about it too. So now there's 2 one plant songs. This one is called Chokhmah, which is the Hebrew word for wisdom. And it's essentially about having the wisdom to keeping something whole and sacred and not chopping it up in pieces. One of the things I like about that biblical story of King Solomon and the 2 mothers fighting over the baby was that it was described, and I think this is very applicable to legislators, and that's what I love about the Bible in general, is that a lot of the stories you're like, how could that have really happened? I think that they're actually metaphors to other things in life, and so what it says is that the mother had the compassion, the real mother, and the fake mother just had the will to win, just wanted to win. And so when King Solomon said, okay, I'll chop the baby in half, I know, gross image, all right, bye, Willow. The real mother was like, no, I'd rather you just give the baby to her. I don't want half, I want to keep the baby alive. But the fake mother just wanted to win. She didn't care. She didn't have compassion. Of course, I mean, who would agree on that? It just doesn't make any sense. And so metaphorically, legislatively, I think a lot of legislators just want to win. They just want to get their half. They just want to get their share of the money. They're not thinking about the bigger picture of keeping it intact, keeping it alive, keeping it healthy, allowing it to live. So it's a perfect story for the one plant mission. So, any other questions? Thank you all so much for popping on. If you missed the beginning with the magical synchronicities of today, then you can go back and listen. Thank you again for the thumbs up. Definitely watch out for part 2 of Senator Rahman's bills. I encourage each and every one of you, if you feel like it, to not only email your legislators, email any of the legislators that you think need to learn about cannabis or might be interested. Email them, follow up with a phone call, and email their administrative assistants. When you call, make sure you get their emails and befriend them. Be friendly and be like, oh, it means so much to me. And then when you go down there after you email and call, people are like so excited to see your face. They're like, oh, you're the person I spoke with. Oh, cool. You know? So, yeah, it's a good thing. And it's like weaving a tapestry. It's like weaving a web. It's like you just kind of go, and every time you go, you're doing more crochet stitches, you're stitching more things together. And that's it. If anyone wants to sponsor an upcoming video, that would mean so much to me. It does take a lot of hours for me to put these things together with subtitles and research and all that stuff. And it was $15 to park at the Capitol today. If anyone wants to throw me a $15 tip, there is a like a little money symbol here. And it's like you can leave a tip in the super chat if you want, or you can throw me something on my Cash app. So you got to read the new ones. What? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, the new bills. The I don't see Justin chatting here, so it might be somewhere else. Or Just a Buddy is Willow, just so you know. You remember Willow? Over at the Hemp Maze. Answers in the Wall. And I just released that single, by the way. As a single. All right, beautiful people. Mwah. Thank you for loving cannabis as much as me. I will see you on the flip side. I'm going to end this live video on Facebook. I'm going to stay on YouTube for a couple more minutes because I think Facebook is like having a time issue. Okay, I'm ending the Facebook live video. But you're still with me on YouTube. Love you guys. Thank you for everything you do. That's my recap. My 43-minute recap on my long day. Beautiful day. Beautiful weather at the Capitol. Hope you all got some sunshine today. I'm getting ready to go on my walk. Yeah, Just a Buddy is Willow. Americana Blunt. It's all good. We're communicating through technology. There's going to be glitches. But yeah, if you want, I'll just put in the chat real quick. Like, you can also like go to the georgia.legis.gov. Here, why don't I copy some links for you here? Okay, first of all, this is part 1 of, where'd you go? I don't even know where you, goodness gracious. I lost you guys. There you are. Here's the part 1 video of the Senator Rahman's 3 bills. I encourage you to encourage Chairman Powell to get involved in SB 264. Senator Rahman's bills in the Senate that expands the medical cannabis to edibles. Right now, it's just the oil. And let's see. Wait, that's not the one that I want. Where is I'm just going to look it up here, and I'll add this link. The georgia.legis.gov. Trust me, navigating. Oh, that didn't work. All right. Is that not the... Oh, it's legis.georgia.gov. See? It's so easy to forget these things. I still tried to meet with Senator Burns. I spoke with the other guy in his office, like something Hickle. I forget his last name. They liked Scribbles. Scribbles was a big hit. They all wanted to talk to Scribbles today. They're like, why didn't Scribbles testify? I was like, well, he was feeling shy. All right, so I'm going to bring up the link to this HB264 so you can... It has a lot of co-sponsors. I think it has a chance. I mean, Gloria Butler, Harold Jones, Nan Orick, David Lucas. If you see the guys out there, be like, hey, thanks for co-sponsoring HB264. You know, let them know you appreciate them, because I'm telling you, it helps. It makes a difference. Because, I mean, don't you like when people say that they appreciate you? Doesn't it help you know that you're to continue doing it? Because they might be like, oh, well, nobody appreciated it, so why should I do it again? Nobody cares. I got that a lot. That I can't stand that. I can't stand when people are like, oh, no, but it's just not going to pass. Nobody in there, it's just never going to pass, blah, 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 because it's Republican or because it's Democrat. I feel like cannabis is a crossover issue. Republicans and Democrats support it. I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, well, a Democrat wrote that bill, so it's not going to pass. Well, join them. Support Senator Rahman, you Republican. Make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Pacey's doing great. Thank you. She's right over there, just looking out the window, enjoying the evening. All right, my loves. I'm out. I got to finish editing that other video for you. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you just want encouragement with your own activism. I love seeing people getting active with their activisms. Thank you all so much for educating people. That is key, just education and not tolerating ignorance. No need to do that. Because Chochmah, Solomon grabbed that sword. Chochmah, true wisdom isn't ignored. Chochmah, the real mother won't play along. Chochmah, she knew it was wrong. She knew it was wrong. She knew it was wrong. That's awesome. Yeah, James. Tell Harold that you like it. Any other links y'all want me to drop there while I have the Georgia General Assembly website on here? Freddie Sims supports it. She's in the Georgia Ag. And let Senator Rahman know too. I mean, I think part of why he didn't reach out to get people to support his bill is because he might be a little bit shy. But he has some really good ideas about putting it on the ballot as well. But like I said, I talked to Chairman Powell and Chairman Cowsett. Like I said, well, why do we have to put it on the ballot? Can't you just change it yourselves? And they were like, yeah, we can. We don't have to put it on the ballot. It's not a constitutional issue. I don't understand all that, but I'm just relaying what I'm hearing. And the crow is about to take me somewhere else. I got to board that crow and get out of here, y'all. Thank you so much for popping in and caring. Love you.